The champion from last season is back. DistantCoder, the captain of the Cryo Scorches, as he takes on Swolelax of the Imperawats. A showdown of Frost versus Thunder. Both of these casters got to open up 3 starter decks and some special packs for week 1. Let's see what they pulled. Oh, and spoilers, you don't want to miss this. Coder hits it big with Frostics out of his Shattered Stars pack, and he's pumped up. But Swolelax doesn't quite have the same luck, landing a Galaxair, a potentially useful card in tech situations. Then, something we never saw coming actually happened. As DistantCoder opened up his packs from his starter deck, he found one of the rarest cards in the world.
For the front, and a Stellar Locagon? No way, bro! What? There's no shot!
That's right, he hit a Stellar Locagon, a card where only 99 copies will ever be made. Not to mention, a really strong water card that can make an incredible deck as well. With these new cards in their arsenal, let's see what decks they cooked up. Coder and the Cryo Scorches opt to use a Cryovern Frost build, revolving around getting out Cryoling mid-game to ascend into Cryovern for immediate pressure. Swolelax is bringing something very unconventional, featuring 3 Circle the Sky, a Nexus card that provides incredible draw power but relies heavily on the Divine Rune Zeus. If Swolelax can execute that combo paired with Toxion and Astrabit, we may be in for a crazy clash. Also, shoutouts to the Imperial, a rarely seen card with explosive potential. It looks like Swolelax is going to kick this one off for the Imperawats, and he's going to get started with an Astrabit, an incredible start for Swolelax, being able to look at the top 3 cards of his deck and add 1 to hand. And not to mention that amazing 5 defense that Astrabit sports. It's just such an incredible start. And he's going to go for the Mount Olympus as well. The Imperawats are going to be looking to utilize Race to the Top this season. Race to the Top is an incredible new rune that allows you to target 2 Elestrals and actually take one down with the least defense. When paired with Mount Olympus, that could make this a devastating combo, but we're gonna see the Circle the Sky right out the gates, opting to move a spirit from Mount Olympus onto his Astrabit, ultimately being able to activate 2 different effects. One, the draw effect from Circle the Sky, allowing him to draw a card from the top of his deck, as well as the Nexus Receive effect of Astrabit, allowing him to look at the top 3 cards of his deck and add 1 to hand. This is insane combo potential and insane resource advantage right now. He's got his Astrabit effect twice this turn, and he's been able to draw an additional card. That's 3 additional cards added to his hand, and if you play card games, you understand that the thinner your deck is, the more likely you are to find the cards that you want to draw. An incredible first turn from Swolelax as he sets 1 face down and passes the baton to DistantCoder, who's going to go for Nectar of the Gods. Drawing 2 cards off the top of his deck and fueling his Underworld with those Frost Spirits, this is an incredible and crucial part of his strategy as he looks to set up for his Cryoling and Cryovern later on. Resting on your laurels hits the field. A really, really big play there from Coder as he's pumped to take out that 2 Spirit Astrabit. So the advantage that Swolelax gained by utilizing Circle the Sky, Nexusing from that Mount Olympus, it ends up getting kind of wiped away there with that resting on your laurels as Coder responds with an Astrabit of his own, being able to kind of take advantage of those cards at the top of his deck, seeing what he can add to his hand, and hopefully set up for future plays. He opts to put his Astrabit into attack position, most likely indicating that whatever this back row that he's setting is going to be able to protect his rabbit. So he's going to fire away for 1. The cheap shot there generally goes through, as it's not very advantageous for Swolelax to respond with really any of the counter runes that he would potentially respond with there. He's going to respond, however, with a Thunder Spirit of his own, casting out Jolton. A really important piece to this deck, being able to search out that Mount Olympus, again, fueling those various strategies. Not only does it give the buff to all of the Thunder Elestrals, but we saw earlier provides an incredible Nexus target for Sparkit and for Circle the Sky, opening up many possibilities, so he's not relying quite as heavily on Zeus. Now, in this case, Coder is able to take advantage of Mount Olympus because of his Astrabit, so there's a thought here for Swolelax. Does he try to use it? He's going to opt to not to, keep himself away from the potential of another resting on your laurels, but he is going to run into a Tsunami. Kind of what we expected, right? We knew Coder had to have some sort of a defensive play here because you don't just want to leave your 5 defense Astrabit in attack position. The Tsunami comes and wipes all of these Thunder Enchanted Elestrals to defense position and keeps them out of the equation. Looks like Coder's responding with a Nekruff. Nekruff could be really bad for Swolelax because this is going to start to pile on that damage if Swolelax doesn't have an answer. Nekruff's going to fire off that attack. If it goes through, It's not going to go through. Shield of Achilles going to bounce it back. If it had gone through, Swolelax would have been forced to expend or pay an additional Spirit of Cost. Instead, he'll bounce it back with the Shield of Achilles, making it so Coder's going to have to play that Necruff on another turn, and Swolelax able to actually get massive value out of that. Not only does he get rid of the Necruff, but he forces the Rabbit into attack position, thinking he was going to get another cheap shot of damage. This game is about utilizing your counter runes effectively and trying to whittle away at your opponents. Swolelax with another card, getting him card advantage. Elechic able to search out that Divine Rune Zeus, but stopped in its tracks by Gorgon's Gaze. Gorgon's Gaze able to negate the effect, the normal cast effect of Elechic as it hits the chain, preventing it from utilizing its search. Really big plays there from Coder. We see that a lot. Unfortunately for Coder, he's going to have to burn another counter rune or lose his Astrabit. Here comes Jolton firing off attack, bounding forward. Shield of Achilles going to respond. Astrabit lives to see another turn, another round of this clash as the Jolton gets bounced right back to Swolelax's hand from the Shield of Achilles. I'm assuming we're not going to see any responses here. We do not. Zaptor goes to the Underworld. Swolelax left with just an Elechic. Not a bad position to be. He does have that face down rune as well. We know Coder has the Necruff. We're going to see if he tries to fire that out once again. Actually going to go for the Cryoling. This is kind of what we were waiting for. Coder's bread and butter strategy. We've reached the middle point of the clash. This is when Cryoling gets to use its effect and immediately ascend into Cryovern. When Cryoling's attack gets to 6 or more, it's forced to ascend in the main phase. And if you can't ascend it, you got to destroy it. So you have to be ready to do that. Here comes Cryovern out, 2 spirits on it. Coder's going to have to make a choice. Is he going to grab a water? No, he's going to go with the standard enchant, Double Frost. A lot of times we'll see casters misenchant their Cryovern with a water spirit or something similar, so they can get around cards like Tsunami. DistantCoder gonna play the Nectar of the Gods here, gonna use 2 spirits to be able to draw 2 additional cards, getting his spirit total pretty low. I mean, he's down to 6, Swolelax sitting at 12. Swolelax had some pretty good card advantage earlier, but with only 1 face down rune, you gotta wonder, is Coder gonna be able to hit through and get through this Elechic? Astrabit still sitting in attack position. Let's see here. Here comes Cryovern, gonna fire off an attack. Elechic does go down. Swolelax gonna take the hits, and all of a sudden, Coder is in the driver's seat, being able to kind of climb back into this one. He's stretching out. He's feeling good. He's got his strategy executed. Swolelax down to just 10 spirits. Let's see what he's got.
Go right click on your private. We'll run out, swirl it.
Sure.
Go combat, swing over.
Yeah.
A huge play there from Swolelax, throwing down the Earthquake at the perfect time, taking out Cryovern, and then forcing out a Sorlet to take out the Rabbit. I do have to say, even without the Earthquake, I think that Sorlet's probably putting in some work. So really good deck building there on Swolelax's part to prepare for that. But here's where Coder's strategy goes hard, because he's got Kione, and he can grab his Cryoling back and bring out another Cryovern. I mean, this is just bonkers. He is not going to quit. Here comes the Cryoling, hits the field. That effect is going to activate immediately, and now he's going to be able to resolve it and get out another Cryovern. It's like, you can't get rid of this thing. It just keeps coming back, but it's an expensive play for Coder. He's going to go with the Thunder Spirit this time. Get him set up. He's down to 3 spirits, facing down a Sorlet. He needs to take this Sorlet out. If he does not, Sorlet is back with a vengeance next turn, and the hit goes through. Sorlet goes down. Cryovern is in it, ladies and gentlemen. And Coder climbing back in this one, down by 3 spirits, but has 2 on Cryovern. Swolelax here to respond. Let's see, he's got 2 Thunder Spirits. It's going to be a Nectar of the Gods, the late game Nog. Such a huge card throughout this entire clash. These casters have been able to draw into extra cards and extra resources to make more optimal plays. Just 4 spirits to go. He's grabbing one. He's casting that face down Zeus that was a bait. That could be the key to being able to attack over this Cryovern for Swolelax. He's going to disenchant from the Zeus. Drop the stats of the Cryovern so it just has 4 attack now. Here comes a Water Spirit and an Ambrosia. A big heal from Swolelax in the later turns of the clash, healing up to 5 spirits. Coder is shaking right now. He does not know what's coming. The question is, does Swolelax have an attacker? It's a Toxeon! Toxeon is massive. It's going to burn Coder for 1 spirit and has the potential to crash into the Cryovern, but he's got another Zeus! Zeus strikes down. That's going to hit over the Cryovern and allow Toxeon to deal the blow and take out the Cryovern. And Swolelax going to throw down the Mount Olympus Stadium as well, pushing his Toxeon to 5 attack. This is huge. The double Zeus into Cryovern, the attack with Toxeon over the Cryovern, and now Coder with 2 spirits left, forced to find an answer here. No back row for Swolelax, so Coder's gonna reach. He's gonna grab his Necrub, has to water Enchanted. That tells me he maybe doesn't have a Fire Spirit left. The Necrub fires off and crashes because of the Mount Olympus. A Thunder Spirit could have taken him out too. That's huge. Swolelax responds with the Jolton, and Swolelax is gonna take the clash. 1-0, hitting the last spirit. Coder in shambles. Last season's champion went undefeated, and he goes down here in week 1. An incredible back and forth between DistantCoder and Swolelax, with Swolelax ultimately taking the W on the back of Zeus, Toxeon, and incredible Nexus plays utilizing Circle the Sky. What an incredible clash that one was. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Another clash tomorrow.